where I live, color is so intense. The sun is really bright, so there's bright reds, bright blues, bright greens. So I found this exercise really challenging. I just have a hard time seeing things in muted color.
I think you have to wait for an overcast day.
Tell us about the patch of blue on the roof.
Well, it is sort of a muted green. I put some red uh, in with the green to kind of tone it down. Um, it's it's just a kind of an old asphalt shingle
Mhm.
roof, and then on the other side of the roof, uh, where the building's going in the other direction, the roof has completely come off. So I ended up with like three different roof colors there, which was kind of interesting. That's kind of the way it looked.
Yeah, I kind of think this is more in keeping with all this other stuff. Whereas this flat glaze, it, 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 it's missing a bit of variation, isn't it? I mean, if you blur
Yeah,
your eyes and look at it, it looks like a big flat blue
yeah,
shape. Yeah.
yeah,
Whereas here where you vary the colors, yeah,
right, right.
which works very well in low contrast neutrals. Yeah. Can I give you some fault finding criticism, Mary?
Absolutely, I need it.
No, no, you don't. You're a fantastic painter, but I'm only giving it in the perspective of when I blur my eyes and look at it, this is getting almost like a pure yellow. It's getting very
Uh-huh,
strong, these yellows, yeah? They're almost getting intense, yeah?
right.
So if you know this trick about putting your hand up in front of it so you can't see it, yeah?
Yeah,
If you hold the hand up and block the bright yellow grass field out, yeah? I find it a lot easier to see all the greys around here without the yellow, yeah?
uh-huh.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what would you have done there in the grasses?
In terms of the exercise,
Yeah,
I would have integrated maybe some more of this varied stuff here, graded it down a bit and dappled it, yeah?
uh-huh.
Or maybe dropped a bit of the green down, yeah? You know, what you're dealing with here is a complementary contrast, yeah? The yellow-violet contrast, yeah?
Right.
And that it's distracting from all the greys and the muted colours, yeah? I mean, if I really wanted to paint a barn in neutral greys and colours, I wouldn't play such a strong complementary contrast, the violet
Mm-hmm.
yellows, yeah? Personally, that's what I would have done, yeah? I would have veered away from the yellow-violet contrast.
Mm.
And you know, you sort of squint at it. I can suddenly start seeing the all the subtle shifts from the green up around here. It's low contrast, muted color around here, yeah?
Yes.
Whereas here, there's a high contrast between yellow and violet. Another way of saying it is the yellow-violet contrast is the major color statement of the painting. The major color statement is the violet v the yellow, yeah?
Mm.
And it's very intense. It's not muted. If I was going to build a painting on a muted scale, I would keep the muted as my major and keep the complementary contrast as a minor. Look at that. So last week I ticked Mary off for having a complementary contrast.
Mm.
The orange, the yellow-violet contrast here, yeah? It didn't, to my eye, it looked very intense. It didn't look very muted. This is what the tenacious Mary came back with.
Oh, good. Oh, well done. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback from Mary, please, people.
A lot better.
Oh, look at that. She redid it.
Yeah, that looks better.
Put my photo next to it.
Which one looks more muted? Which one looks more intense?
The new one looks more muted.
The
More
right.
muted.
One is more
Right.
muted. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Lovely. I like that very much.
We've also taken out quite a lot of the bright violet as well and downtone that, which I think has helped a lot.
Mm-hmm. The trees are better as well. They recede more. more peaceful.
Of what I thought was going to happen, that it actually brought out the building more rather than when I did it the first time, I thought the yellows would kind of pop that building out, but actually muting it actually helped to bring the building out more, and
Mhm.
it calmed it down a lot.
Mary, is it the same painting that you painted on top of, or did you paint another
Yeah,
version?
yeah, it's the same painting, and I painted over a lot of the yellows with more muted colors. And the grass is more of a very, very light lavender gray. Um, I put more contrast in the roof to just calm that green down a little bit, that blue green.
Mhm. That's fabulous. Really nice. Yeah.
This is a fine example of, it's not just mixing the muted colors, it's using the muted colors artistically to make muted paintings. It's not just because I've got some muted colors in my painting, I'm going to end up with a muted painting. No, you've got to compose it, you've got to make it. Looks so much like Little House on the Prairie. Remember that episode, Little House on the Prairie?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one here is, I personally, I really love the little shifts in color around here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I then took the liberty of photoshopping Mary's painting.
Uh-huh.
There's Mary's painting as she sent it in.
Yeah, see, the other one didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what you said. You did a Where's Wally.
Yeah.
We have something like that, and we just don't call it that. But I couldn't find what you did here.
I didn't actually want to put my massive hand on top of it because I think you've very successfully dealt with the palette, the range of colors. I was slightly worried about this tree coming over the top of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So look, but because there's a very low contrast here. So that's why you can't see it, because it's very subtle. High contrast you can see, but low contrast you can't really see. So I cleaned up that branch, the eave bashing your tiles in there, Mary. But I also thought, however, you've gone in very, very subtly and very delicately. That the painting the eye didn't quite know where to go in the painting. So I filled in this corner here, which I thought was a complete waste of time. Yeah. But
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I gave it a focal point on the apex of the eave, on the ridge,
Uh-huh.
with this lovely turquoise, cerulean turquoise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plucked it out. Yeah, and I stitched some cerulean into the sky to achieve harmony.
Oh, look at
I've done
that.
it here, but I've done some more of it, and I flipped some of this up into the sky as well. Yeah.
Oh, you did too. Yeah.
Oh,
This is actually
So I
something
stitched
I
it
thought
together. So the
sometimes
eye
if you watch some really professional paintings, they say that you always have this connections. Whatever you see some Monet paintings, and suddenly you have some spot of the color that you find in the paintings, also the spot in the sky of that, and so on. Is this some general rule? You try to connect things.
It's an impressionist technique. If you look at Monet, he's always putting the sky into the landline sky. I called it stitching. It's a bit like embroidery. You see, I've stitched some of this color up there. Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
It's like running a stitch work embroidery. Yeah. Yeah. It's got.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it really it makes that tree look a lot less flat. It really gives it some depth.
Uh-huh.
It just eases the eye round as well. The eye is more fluid because this is a low contrast tranquil painting, so the eye can move calmly around low contrasts. The stitching, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a super painting there, Mary. I think you're a wonderful painter, and I think this barn looks like a total dream. It looks really, really beautiful, and it's
Looks
lovely.
like home.
Isn't this a lovely low key muted palette now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
And you see how all these delicate greys, mid-tone greys, they just soften the whole thing, don't they? So you're now beginning to understand the aim of these exercises. It's not just to be able to mix the muted, the colours, the muted or intense, but to use them artistically, to be able to build paintings with them. Okay.